All right, y'all, part 3 of the presidential slogans and breaking the matrix with these and inventing shit in the garage, okay? So, man, I didn't realize there's so many campaigns. I should have looked at this first on all these things. There's so many to decode. I got to go through these just real quick here. So, the Gary Johnson, the Gaw Ray, that's the Gay Ray, the Gaza, the Johnson for the Mike Johnson campaign. And the Gar is tied to the kangaroo, and that roo is the red. And the red is tied to the red and blue for the right and wrong, and the left and right, and the left and right and left, and blah, blah, blah. And then you got the live free. So this is that free golf game that's kind of going on to where anybody can participate. And it's just a party for all, the party for the Trump. It gives them a little chess game to play with. So the defeed the Washington Machine. That Washington is that Georgia, the GA, that's the Gaza too. And that's the George, the GE, the G for the Jesus, the GE is tied to brain fart. The Georgia has the AI, so it's the AI bringing on the 2 G's for the dark Jesus and the light Jesus, all right? There's a Jesus who gives you freedom, and the Jesus the church takes and transforms the light and makes a Jesus where you can't do nothing. So that's where you get the 2 things. Let's see here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back in time to the 60s, okay? Because Biden is the 46th president, and we have 1964, and you have all the way with LBJ. Okay, that's that blow job in a way. And we've been seeing Trump going through that gag order. And that blow job is also tied to leaving your work and you just happen to go out to the mountains and wait it out or whatever kind of thing, okay? And then also the woman who gets sucked in those days, beware, all right? If you've had the old armies gather and you're sleeping with the vets matter, and the vets, the beast and such, you're taking a gamble. So in your heart, you know he's right. This is where the heart and the right hand, it's the same thing, all right? The mark in the right hand is the mark in the heart, to buy and sell. It's what makes you think it's right. It's where people are getting this hardness in their heart, and they're thinking that this guy's wrong, that guy's wrong, and they're basing their life's decisions on it, and they're gonna be it's gonna be just a mind fuck for all, okay? And this is where you gotta have that light, and you gotta rise up, okay? And then once you rise up, you get on that deer stand. Once you're on the deer stand, you're not going to be hunted. And sometimes when you're hunting and you don't have that orange, that bright head cap on, okay, or that bright coat, you're not lit up in the forest, and you're wearing that camo, the cam Moses and those kinds of things, but if you're not proper, all right, you're gonna die in those Hunger Games, and you're not gonna be on that stand, okay? So 64, in your guts, he knows you're nuts. This is the bowels. A nation divided by the bowels and the hunger, and we can see in Genesis 1 how they're given one plant, one tree, okay? In the garden, they're given many trees, and we're given this pyramid, okay? So we maybe need to think about food different. Maybe we need to eat one type of food per day. We can eat the variety of food, but maybe we just need to eat like apples all one day, or carrots all one day, or bread all one day, or milk all one day, whatever, okay? Or maybe the 3-in-1. Maybe you can't have over 3 types of food, okay? Because I notice big differences when I eat a whole bunch of different garbage, a whole bunch of different types of foods. What the next day is like versus when you eat one kind of food, or when you do a milk fast, or when you concentrate things down, like when you don't have time to make a proper lunch and you just have to throw a couple things together or whatever. You might notice different things. Well, most people are so fucked up in the body, their temple can't tell them anything. All right, it's so out of whack, and that's why the earth, God, the Antichrist, has come in to take care of everybody and then have them reborn into the new eternity, that electronic term. So either way, if you can't make it past this detox period that's going to be coming up on the deox period, the de-beast period, then you're not going to be able to go forward. Okay, and it's going to take you out through the dividing of the nations and the bowels and such. Okay, so this is where we have to be able to. This is what fasting kind of does. It tells you, it prepares you for these times of not so plentiful, and it also lets your body reset to where you start living. The earth starts taking care of the earth, so you start producing your own water, you start producing your own food, energy per se, and it's a spiritual experience once you get to whatever. Okay, so this can be tied to where people who do certain drugs and they stay up for a certain amount of time, they start to see things. Okay, it's because they might start breaking into a spiritual realm once we like we may sleep to keep us from, it may be a doorway or a gateway or something to keep us here. Okay, but if we are awake all the time or whatever, we might be able to see all the spiritual components around us, in a matter of speaking, and all that darkness that brings the light. Okay, but either way, these are just some thoughts coming on. A lead ear, the lead, ER, that's the gun, that kind of thing, for a change, and the Lee adder, the Lee adders for that General Lee and that snake, and Don told you he's the serpent, the snake, many times in his poem that he loves to read to everybody, and they just love it. Either way, the lead is for the guns and those things that for a change. The faux raw change. This is where you can have the Don coming in, and he's transferring his light, and he's changing his light to the 3 or 4 kings or whatever. And then Elon is the dusk, the musk, the dark night who comes in as that, like, he would be the one that everybody has their money taken from the AI or whatever. His AI takes out the oil, whatever's going on, okay? However they blame it. But this is where you could have somebody in Texas rise up and shoot his ass from 1,600 yards, and then the brain chip has him, whatever, okay? And we could see Elon Musk run for president this year, or however kind of thing working out, okay? Don't be surprised if they pull some people out of the backside, okay? Anyways, so Nixon's ones, we'll get to that. The stakes are too high. All right, we've been seeing the stakes being prepared, and that's the meat for the veil lifting and the eye to eye. The eye is the AI and those things. Either way, too high for you to stay at home, and that's tied to that's the DayZ ad. So that's the DayZ for the 26 time frame for that alphabet. Because we'll see, like, this play this build up and replay of COVID, but the respiratory and dog illness or whatever will go, or kind of go and then come or whatever, and it'll be kind of stacked on top of each other. Okay. So, and as they stack them, they kind of reflect them and twist them. All right. So this is where you have to have the eyes and ears to put all this stuff together. Okay. So, 1972, that ties to the 77. All right. And we got the, they can't lick our dick. That's talking about Richard Nixon. Okay. And this, they can't lick our dick. And that all ties into the Bud Light. And that ties into the woman giving suck in those days and such. And they don't change dicks in the midst of a screw. Vote for Nixon, 72. And that Nick's son, the Nikki Haley, the Hell Lee, for that General Lee, for that Daisy Dookies. And the General Lee has the two riders, that Riders for the ride for the ACID, the AC ID, the IDs for the real ID. And that real ID is tied to the voting apps and those things coming out. And then opening up the world where there are no borders in a matter of speaking, but it's also going to that real ID for Idaho. Because Idaho, Oregon, they've been talking about succession from, or Oregon's been talking about succession to Idaho. So that can be like a small succession play. And you can also have a Yellowstone event that blasts out of Idaho and such, because Yellowstone connects to Idaho, and you could see how Yellowstone, it could affect Idaho's potato crops and all that kind of stuff, and start those types of things. We see the potato with Russia and those things. So either way, send them a message. That's in 1968, the Mess Age, the Messiah. And those are the times we had the Jesus Revolution starting up in the 70s, and was that in the 60s or something? Either way, we can see all these things stacking up together, and then we're going to get a replay of this time, and the time to where we're going to have the next Jesus Revolution, where the church is going to realize that they're chasing after Satan. And anyways, they have to go and kill and shed blood first, but either way, they'll listen eventually. So like I've told y'all, this information that I'm putting out is not for now, it's for later. If you get it now, you're part of the early. All right, you're part of the early, and it's your choice to use your talents. Okay, it's your choice to take the oil and take the light and spread it in your own mind, and work with these things. Okay, either way, this is just me combining stuff of all the things I've learned since basically high school and putting it all together. But I'm taking half of what I've been told and putting it together to break the matrix in just the most basic form. Okay? And this is all given to me through supernatural experience, per se, I call it, but through the dreams and visions that I had in 2020 that brought it all together, and the Spirit was just working through me, basically working my hands and teaching me as it worked through me. Okay, I didn't really know what I was doing. Okay, I just knew I had to do it. But either way, so this is where the Spirit's telling y'all, like, you got to go here, you got to do this. You don't know why, you just got to do it. Okay, I can't go to work today. I got to go to the park. I got to go here. I got to see what the Spirit has for me here. I got to listen. I got to learn. But the people don't know the heavenly. They can't listen to the heavenly because they're trapped in bondage here. And right now, the time of Pluto, it's going to bring in a new time. And the old time is going away. And that American Revolution, Revelation War is coming. And all these things are resetting. Okay? So we're going to end it here. And maybe we're going to do a part 4 and then